Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another session of our Female Entrepreneurship Support Program, which is a collaborative initiative by TechQuest STEM Academy and Junub Open Space. And the initiative is sponsored by the AfriLabs Capacity Building Programme and funded through Agence Française de Développement through the Digital Africa Seed Fund. My name is Dr. Itoro Emembolu. I'm a director at TechQuest STEM Academy. So today is another exciting session where we have two very experienced mentors and speakers who will be speaking on attracting and managing great talent. And I would like to introduce our speakers. We have with me here Mr. Chimaobi Agwu, who is the National Director of BNI Nigeria. You're welcome, CJ. We also have.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, welcome. We also have here with us Gozie-Iwudo, who is the founder of FliplearnKids. You're very welcome. She is an edtech enthusiast too. You're welcome, Ella.
Hi, morning.
Okay. So as we do in all our sessions, please say hello in the chat box. Tell us where you are connecting from. And we will take the questions. You put your questions in the chat box. I will try and ensure that we take all those questions as the session goes along towards the end. After our two speakers talk to us about their perspectives on attracting and managing great talent. So before we go on and have our first speaker talk, I would like to give a brief profile, read a bit about his profile. So as I mentioned, Mr. Chimaobi is the National Director of BNI Nigeria, and that's the world's largest and most successful business referral organization. He's also the founder of E-Business Incubation Center and a publisher of Business Trumpet News. He has also served as the Managing Director of SafeLine Microfinance Bank and Cowries Microfinance Bank. He's an economist by training. CJ holds a BSc in Economics, an MSc in Finance, and an MBA from the University of Lagos. He's CIBN certified, and in 2018, he took part in the Mentors Training Programs of Venture Capital for Africa under the Make It Africa. And then also in 2020, he was part of the IFAD Sponsor Learning Field Lab team in Mali and Cameroon. He has consulted for different organizations, including USAID and UNDP, the Henry Ball Foundation, and a whole lot of other organizations. So once again, we look forward to having you here and learning from your insights. So over to you, CJ. Okay, we'll just this slide. I think your audio is on mute, CJ.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. So today we'll be talking about attracting and managing great talents. I'll be focusing on attracting, retaining, and motivating these great talents. Sorry, Doctor, there was one I sent you, one that has the second one. Okay, it's had an additional slide. Okay, we can go ahead. Okay, before we start, everyone, I would like to ask us some questions. Our number one question is this: how would you rate your staff? Great, average, or below average? Second question: how would you rate your talent management skills? Will you rate it as great, average, or below average? Third question: can you identify great talents? Yes, no, or maybe? And critically, what is your business mission, vision, and values? Can you specifically tell us what industry, sector, subsector you are in? And when was the last time that you motivated your top talent? So I'd like to take one of the first questions there. Among the attendees, can you tell us what is your business vision? What is your business vision? What is your business mission? Because here we are talking about motivating talent. Motivation is also another name for it. It's imparting your enthusiasm onto others. So if you are not enthusiastic, there's no way anybody can be enthusiastic with you. If you are not motivated, you are not inspired by that your great mission statement, great vision statement, every other person around you is going to be lukewarm. So here are some few facts we want to know about attracting and managing great talents. Number one, employees do not leave their job. Rather, they leave their managers. They leave their organizations. Because somebody will leave First Bank and go to Zenith Bank. It's the same job he's doing. But what he has left the same, he has left the former organization and different manager. So they only leave you. And then your greatest asset are your people, not your money in the bank. People make or mar an organization. And you as an entrepreneur, no matter how good you are, you can never do it all. You always need people to work with you. And managers account for at least 70% of variance in employee engagement scores. What does that mean? 70% of the performance of your staff is attributed to you. If you can motivate them rightly, but if you fail, you are only dealing with 30% performance. And then 77% of employees with bad managers hope to leave their organization. And then your inability to set clear and consistent expectations hinders the focus, performance, and understanding of your company goals by your staff. And then your top talents are likely to leave your company and go elsewhere if their expectations are not met. And nurturing the motivation of your staff is critical to your achieving the triple threat. That is talent, engagement, and tenure with your organization. Talented individuals want to work with top talents. So if you want to attract top talent, start from day one. Everybody who works in your organization must be very good. Otherwise, other top talents will say, no, I cannot go there. And the best workers do the best and the most work. But ironically, many companies do an awful job of finding and keeping these great workers. Superior talent, top talent, do 8 times more productive than the average staff. More facts. According to management guru Jim Collins, he said that the simple biggest constraint on the success of this organization is the inability to get and to hang on to enough of the right people. In other words, the success of your organization depends on how well you can attract, motivate, and retain the best hands in your business. And what does that mean? You need to focus on the 5% top talent who deliver 95% of the value. The remaining 95% are just supporters. They only deliver 5%. And then lastly, your biggest and most important work as a business person, as an entrepreneur, is finding, leading, and keeping the best talents. That is the best work you have to do. Now, here are some facts that the job divided into low complexity, medium, high, and very complex. For the low complex job, the top performing job workers do 50% more. But for the very complex work, highly competent staff do 800% more than the average staff. So what would you rather have? The guy that does 800% more job, or the guy that is doing 5%? Of course, you go for the one that gives you 800%. And then here is another statistics. Attracting and managing great talents is very, very difficult and more challenging in Africa. As you can see there in sub-Saharan Africa, it is about 31% more difficult. to attract and keep good talents as compared to places in the US where they have a larger pool of qualified talents. And then again, when you attract, when your organization performs, these are the things that the best talents look out for. Now, great leaders make 89%, attract 89% of the best talents. Great company, 81%. Great job, 81%. Great reward, 76%. So the best talents in industry are looking for the best leaders of companies. These are the people they want to work with, because they know if they work with these guys, then they are going to get to where they want to be. So now let's look at two brief case studies. One is Miravel Finance. She started her own business, but she was not treating her staff very well. She treated them that I'm just helping them. At one time I met her, said, why not send this your staff to training, send them do this for you? Say, for what? That was her question. For what? What do they know? Why should I do that? No, if they don't like it, they can go. Do you know what happened? That company did not last 3 years. It collapsed because she never believed in motivating and retaining staff, and so her company collapsed. But look at BA Consult. BA Consult at Biodun Adedipe and Associates. It's a Nigerian company. He treats his workers as his colleagues. He doesn't treat them as subordinates. He treats them as colleagues, rewards everybody, motivates everybody. That organization is going strong. According to the last time I discussed with him, he said that when he gets jobs to do now, because of the caliber of people he has, anything less than 6 million naira job, he does not do it. What makes the difference? One says, why? What are these staff? They should be thankful to me. Another one says, no, these are my colleagues. We are all in this together. This is to give us an idea of what it takes to attract, retain, motivate, and manage great employees. So that if you are thinking of having a great talent, building a great organization, 89% of that job is on you, the business owner. If you fail, your business fails, because your greatest assets are your greatest assets are your people. Now, the question now is, are you a leader or a manager? If you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, you should aim to become a business leader, not a manager. Why? Because managers focus on the mechanics of the work. They are more concerned about planning, controlling, staffing, and issuing out orders. As you can see in that picture there, the manager stands at the top and ordering people, oh yeah, push it, drag it. Tony, oh yeah. Matthew, what are you doing there? Push it up. That's, oh yeah. But how about leaders? They are visionaries. They are motivators. They are inspirators. They are more concerned about directing, organizing their people to achieve goals. As you can see in that picture, the leader stands there and is leading the pulling of the task down to the top of the hill. So which one are you? If you are the manager, your business is going to struggle and you are not going to attract the best talents. But if you are a leader, people want to come and work for you. So what is great talent? Of course, all of us will agree today that Messi is a very great talent. And what makes great talents? They have high business intelligence. They high-performing employees. They are goal, mission, and results-driven. They are innovative and proactive. They have positive energy and attitude. They are never complaining. They are looking for results. They have the entrepreneurial spirit. They're always asking questions because they want to do things better. They have a commitment to your business culture. They have integrity and they have teamwork. These are the great talents. Do you have this sort of people working for you? Before you can attract great talent, there is a preparatory work you need to do as a business owner. Here are some questions for you. Number one, can you manage great talent? Unfortunately, 95% of entrepreneurs cannot manage great talent. 2, are you challenged by competence? 3, are you willing to be told that you're wrong by your staff? 4, do you know your company's mission, vision, and values? I tell you that 70% of business owners, you wake them up at 12 midnight, what is your mission? They are confused. What is your vision? They are confused. What are your company values? They say, So if you don't know your mission, your vision, and your values, and these things don't challenge you, they don't motivate you, who else will it challenge and motivate? Your staff? Yeah, you'll be joking to think that will motivate them. It has to start with you, because that mission and vision that will drive others and make them want to work for you. Now, can you identify the most important skills and value for your company? Most startups and most small businesses, more than 95% of them, ask them is they cannot identify it. If you cannot identify that, how can you attract the right talent to come and drive your business for you? Now, can you build an employee-focused culture and organization? Can you take a course on leadership and motivation? When I was invited for this training, I was hoping we are going to have 300, 400, 500 people. But I'm surprised we are just having 16 people. I have a professional colleague. We invite her to come and attend training. Say, Mr. Agwu, is that my price? Is that what I need? I need money. And you give them the money, what happens? Why is this room not filled up with entrepreneurs wanting to learn how they can attract, retain, and motivate the best employees? Now, can you write a compelling job description? Do you know that your advertisement for talents, for staff, the description can scare away some people if it's not compelling? Do you know the industry, the sector, and the subsector that your business is in? Because each sector requires a different set of skills, values, and approach. Do you know what the top talents want and what they are looking for? If you don't know what they want, you're going to end up recruiting the wrong persons. So these are the preparatory work you must do in order to attract the right talents. So ask yourself, why would a top talent join your business? Why would they want to work for you? There's only one reason in the whole world: to fulfill their aspirations. That's all. They don't have any other thing. They want to fulfill their aspiration. That's why they want to join your company. But on the other hand, why would they leave your company? There are about 8 reasons. Only one reason why they want to join. 8 reasons and more why they want to leave. Lack of support from you. Lack of challenges to keep them busy. With your workplace culture, your managers, lack of recognition, lack of communication. If you pay peanuts, you attract monkeys to work for you. Low pay, and then lack of growth. They don't see growth opportunities. They will just leave. Why did Neymar leave Barcelona and go to PSG? Because he said he doesn't want to be in the shadows of Messi. And so he went there. Why did Ronaldo leave Real Madrid and go to Juventus? Because he wants to actualize his aspirations. So your top talents have many reasons why they will leave you, but one reason why they will want to join you: to fulfill their lifelong aspirations. So now let us get down to basics. How can you now hire and attract great talent? These are the things you must do. Be ready to be challenged by competence, because top talents will challenge you and tell you, excuse me, sir, you are wrong. If you are not ready for that, then know that don't go for top talent. Just look for mediocre talents, and then just be struggling with your business. But if you want your business to excel, be ready to be challenged by competence. And then brand your company as a great place to work in. Now, how many of you here have a website? How many of us here have a corporate email address? You want to send email to somebody to work for you, and you send the email cjagwu@gmail.com. Your company does not have a brand. I publish an online magazine, Business Shopper. People will send me articles at gmail.com. I bounce back. I say, no. If you want me to publish your article, send it to me through your domain, your brand name. So do you have a website? Do you have a company page? Do you have a logo? Do you have a corporate color? Now, build a great company culture. Build the job specifications that will attract people. Use referrals, people you know who can recommend the right persons to you. Create competitive compensation. Don't look at your staff that they are ungrateful. That who are they? What do they know? Are they there when I'm setting up this company? Build strong talent networks. Use professional recruiters. Form relations with relevant colleges. As I said earlier on, be ready to change competence. I work with somebody sometimes, and when you tell him, say, excuse me, sir, this is the best way to do this job. You know what we tell you? If you know eat too much, why have you not established your own company? Once you say that once, you have destroyed the culture of your organization and you lose your top talents. Even though they are still there with you mentally and performance-wise, they are not there. So these are the things you must do in order to attract great talents to work for you. So if you have been using at Gmail, stop it. Go and register a domain name. It doesn't cost too much. $10. You have a domain name. Get a website. Get a logo. Brand it so that people say, yes, you know what you are doing. Then, how can you retain top talents? Now, to retain top talents starts from the recruiting point, not after you have recruited them. So what kind of questions do you ask? How do you prepare yourself to ask those questions? Do you invite somebody that you want to do interview and sitting down inside your car doing interview? Do you hire, make your office look comfortable, look attractive when the person is coming? Because when a great talent is coming for the interview, right from the door, the person is assessing your company, whether this guy want to work or not. There are instances where employees have been given employment letter and they refuse to go. I have 3 employment letters here. People have invited you to come and work for them and I refuse to go. So keep challenging your top talents. Be available for them and let them know you have their back. Provide ongoing education and clear paths to advancement. Recognize your talent in front of their peers. Offer the right benefits, salary, fringe benefits, and every other thing. Be transparent and open. Leverage technology and lead from the front. When you do this, your top talents will want to remain with you. So, can you give them end-of-year bonuses? I read a story about an American lady who has a company. You know what she does once in a year? She will just surprise the staff. There was one she went and chartered an aircraft. And all of them did what is called skydiving. And the staff said, wow, we've never had this kind of experience. The aircraft took off into the sky. They wore parachute and dive out the parachute and they were gliding in the open air. It cost her a lot of money. But it was to give the staff some excitement and make them, there is something always to look forward to in this company. Do you do that? Or do you say, what do they mean? Don't I pay them salary? Yes, you pay them salary for them to eat. But then, make the workplace exciting so that they want to remain. So that when company B comes and offers them a job, they say no, they rather want to remain with you. And then how do you motivate your top talents? Allow them to work independently because they are talented. Ensure their safety. Pay them well. Expose them to inspirational people. When I was doing my MBA, we did an exercise. And that exercise is what motivates people most, particularly in Nigeria. And what we find out is that nothing motivates employees like anything more than money. In fact, every other thing has diminishing value, but money does not have diminishing value, it has increasing value. And so pay your staff very well if you want them to remain and work with you. Expose them to inspirational people. Involve them in company decisions. Have a performance-based culture. And respect them and appreciate them. And ask them for constructive feedback. How am I doing? In that way, they see themselves as part and parcel of your organization and they want to remain with you. And then make them feel part of the big picture. I will show you how you can do that. Offer them education and training. Send them to Lagos Business School or send them to TechQuest Academy and other training programs. Provide clear routes to advancement. Pay them with good supervisors. Make them feel that you are your business partners at BA Consult does. Recognize their worth. Invest in their growth. Expose them to new opportunities. Ask about emotions and attitudes. And here are ways you can motivate them. There is what is known as vesting in company. What investing means to give them part of the shares of the company. Say them, okay, I'm employing you. If you work for me for the next 5 years or 10 years, 10% of the company belongs to you. So they are not just working to collect salary and go. They are working and building a future of ownership in your business for them. So they see themselves as partners, as stakeholders, not as staff that can be thrown off the window tomorrow. And they can also give them share ownership. So, okay, my shares are 1 naira per share, but since you are my staff, I said to you at 80 kobo instead of 1 naira. Leadership positions, promote them to become directors, make them partners, as BO Consult has done. And then leading top talents. Work the talk on the thing we have discussed. Build relationship. Establish standards, not rules. A manager that set rules. Leverage the talent in the room. Learn to delegate to your staff. Communicate. Recognize achievements. And remember to have some fun with your staff. Now, how can you lead your top talents? It's through your vision, your mission statements, your values, and then your inspirations. Use these, set them very well, and use it to inspire and lead your people. Create a sense of belonging. Create a sense of excitement. Create an innovative organization. Lead from the front, not from the back, and create a habit of success. Motivate them, reward them, and aim to retain your top talent. And here is the last quote from a man we all know, Steve Jobs. He says, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. They will leave your company. Rather, he said in Apple, they hire smart people so that these smart people can tell Apple what to do. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to hire the smart people and say, this is my business, tell me what to do? Challenge them, put them on the spot, and follow what they tell you to do. When you do that, you are going to attract the right talent, you are going to motivate them, you are going to retain them, and your company will know no bounds. Because, as we said, your greatest assets are your people, the top talents that work for you. Thank you so much. So right now, we'd like to get some feedback. I hope I'm not eating too much time. So your feedback, questions, comments. I can't hear you, Dr. Itoro.
Oh, apologies for that. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for this very enlightening session. So we have a question, and the question is, can you differentiate between rules and standards?
Okay. Okay, let's take the one of rules. What do managers do in the organization? The rule in this company must come in 8 o'clock. 8:05, you are late. If you come anything after 8:30, you get a query for that. That is a rule. It must be complied with. What is another rule that organizations set in their businesses? They set a rule that by 8 a.m., your performance report must be on the table. And before the manager comes into the conference room, every other staff must be there. The manager is the last person to come. That is the rule. So everybody works according to the rule. You don't want to offend the manager because appraisal is coming. So you do all those things. But leaders don't set those rules. They set standards. And in setting those standards, they involve the staff. Gentlemen, this is our vision. Our vision is that today the biggest bank in Nigeria is Access Bank. In the next 10 years, we want to buy up Access Bank. Gentlemen, what standards do we want to set for ourselves to buy Access Bank? They say, wow, if we have to buy Access Bank, the standard is that our performance must increase by 5-fold. This must increase. Our client retention, the number of branches, this is what we must do. So they have set those standards of performance. The rules of behavior are left for the staff, because right now you know that you need to increase your clientele by 5 times every month. How are you going to do that? If the staff decides that he cannot be here by 8 a.m., he needs to go and block Mike Adenuga Jr. by 6 a.m. in his house. And before you finish and come by 6 a.m., so be it, as long as he comes back and brings up the results. So leaders set those standards that will achieve performance, that will push the organization higher. And then once they set those standards, the rules comes in. But what managers do, they set the rules first and then lay the standards on top, and that is why everything crumbles. Because organization is not about rules, it's about standards, it's about performance, it's about results, it's about goals. So that is the difference between standards and rules.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That clarified it very well. So we'll take other questions after Ella has presented, just so that we can have enough time for some other questions. So thank you so much, CJ. We'll be having our next speaker, Ella, speaking now. So I'll just talk a bit about her profile. Let me just put that up. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, Ella Gozie-Iwudo, she's the founder of FliplearnKids, and which is an edtech company that deploys learning programs aimed at improving classroom learning experiences through using technology. She's also a Microsoft Innovative Educator expert and an associate with the Digital Citizenship Institute in the US. Ella's philosophy is that the quality of education is the right of every child. And she also teaches, she's also a Teach SDGs ambassador. So Ella, you are very welcome, and we look forward to your presentation.
Hi. Hi, good morning all. I'm glad to be here. And thank you very much, CJ, for sharing those insightful nuggets. I find them quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're here because we're looking at how to attract and manage great talent. It's really not an easy feat to achieve. But the good thing is there's always a method to everything. So I was listening to a TED Talk by someone called Mr. Simon Sinek. And there was something he was talking about. He was talking about a particular hotel staff who was so passionate and motivated that it showed in the way he was serving the guests. And he asked him a question, and he says, what is it that makes you do your job this way you go about it? And what he told him is the fact that there's a culture around the place he works at, which is the Four Seasons Hotel. And the culture is that every manager that works in that environment will always want to ask, how are you? Hope everything is working for you. How do I make your job better? Then there's this other hotel he works for, which is referred to as Caesar's Palace. And in this Caesar's Palace, Noah goes to work every day just because he wants to get his paycheck. So on this basis, I would like to welcome you to this program. How do you attract and manage great talent? As entrepreneurs, it's really not easy. There are a lot of activities, there's a lot of odds. You're also trying to balance your book, make sure your business is going. But the truth of the matter is, as a business owner, as a leader, there are skills that you learn to be able to do that. So let's move on and see how we're going to drive that. So one thing we need to know is leadership is a skill that you learn. And for you to lead, you need to be able to understand the fact that we are all not born to become leaders. We all acquire the skill of leadership, just like parenting. You don't decide whether you want to be a parent or not, but as far as you have kids, you need to learn that skill on how to manage your kids. And Forbes magazine says leadership is a process of social influence and being able to inspire others to make them achieve the goal you want them to drive. And there's been a lot of debate, people asking, yes, to be a leader, you must be born with it. It's a natural phenomenon. But one thing that I've come to realize over time is the fact that we learn and adapt based on the situation, based on the environment that we find ourselves in. So there are 4 key things I would like us to learn. And those key things are the fact that as a leader, there are certain times you show the communicating side of you. There are certain times you show the logical aspect of yourself as a leader, and there are certain times you show that inspirational part and that supportive part. All these 4 qualities are things that you show based on the environment you find yourself. So you have recruited new people, and you're trying to drive a project that is time-bound. In that scenario, sometimes you use your logical aspect, you put on your logical cap of a leader, because you want people to work within a given timeline. But sometimes also, when you look at the temperature in your room at that particular point in time, you need to put on a cap of a supportive or an inspirational leader who is there to listen, who is there to check and gauge the emotions of the people that you're working with. So when you're able to do that, there's this sense of belonging within the team members that want to make them say, yeah, I like the fact of what I'm seeing. In organizations, even in your business, you're going to find out that you have three key players. Yes, you have players in your organization. You have the A players. And who are the A players? The A players are those who are fit for purpose. Just like CJ mentioned about Apple, Steve Jobs saying, we hire smart people because we want them to tell us what we want to do. These people, for me, are classified as A players. And the truth of the matter is, A players have a lifespan. They are not there because they want to go to the long journey. They are there because they want to give their value for a short window of time. So if you find an A player within your team, how do you sustain the A player? By encouraging the A player, giving them that opportunity, remove micromanaging, allow them to be who they want to be, because they are there for a short time to take your business to the next level. We also have the B players. Who are the big players? The B player seems to be everybody's favorite because they are the long-term kind of people. They are not so noisy like the A players. Sometimes you even ask yourself, oh, do I need to micromanage them? Do I need to push them? But guess what? The B players are the ones who can stay with you 5 years, 10 years, as long as you are able to take them on that ride. So these are the people you need to make sure that when you notice a B player within your team, remember they are the long-term value staff. They might not be as noisy. They might not be always on time with everything, just like the A players. But the good thing is they are there to work with you in the long journey. The C players are just there. And sometimes the B players are the ones you need to micromanage up to the point that you might even tell yourself, I would like to make a change. But classifying people that work with you makes it easier for you to wear the right cap at every given point in time when you are managing them. Because it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, not at all. Every team member you have within your establishment have different characteristics. They have different makeup. So you need to understand that so that you can know how to apply your leadership skill to bring about the best within them. Motivation is also another critical success factor when you're managing your business. And what is motivation? Is that thing that makes you want to do something. So sometimes when you wake up, there's something that makes you wake up as an entrepreneur. And that thing that makes you wake up is the fact that, oh, you have a new idea. Oh, you want your business to move forward. Oh, you have this thing you want to launch. These are more or less intrinsic elements of motivation. So when we look at motivation, there are two sides of motivation. There are things that are intrinsic and they are extrinsic. Let's look at this quote by Dwight Eisenhower. Motivation is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. And you know one thing about motivation is like that thing that pumps your adrenaline that makes you want to go. Everyone on this earth is motivated by something. There are different things that motivate different individuals. So the question you need to ask yourself, what are those things that can motivate your team members? Depending on the type of establishment you run, what are those things that you can infuse to motivate your team? When you look at the intrinsic aspect of motivation, these elements are psychological. It's what somebody remembers and they're like, oh, I'm ready to go to work at office A. Oh, I'm ready to go to work at office B. One of them is culture. What is your organizational culture? Is your culture the type that when people come in, they feel welcome? Is your culture the type that people are uptight? What are the rooms for personal development? Yes, the first speaker mentioned personal development, which is a very critical, because when people understand that have a pathway for personal development, it motivates them. Job satisfaction is also another critical factor. How satisfied are the people that you have in your team? Job satisfaction is also one thing that you need to ensure that they have job satisfaction. Acknowledgement. Oh, you did this well today. You're super awesome. Oh, you are a star. Those compliments motivate people. And you can imagine the story I started with when I opened up this session about Noah, who was trying to explain to someone why he feels so happy. Because every day in his job, the manager is asking him, Noah, how are you? Is there anywhere I can help you? So this acknowledgement have a way of sparking that motivation to make people want to say, oh, I'm going to this office because my manager is going to commend me for a job well done. Then there's also the extrinsic, pay increase, bonus, material good, gifts that you can give to your staff. Yes, CJ talked about a business owner that bought an aircraft and that took the entire team member on bungee jumping. But you know the truth of the matter, there are different ways to this. It's just being creative. It's not by force that you're going to take them on a trip. Things like going to the movies and buying them birthday cards or celebrating birthdays with them, because you know a lot of people also like birthdays. So when you remember your staff birthday, buying them a birthday card, celebrating them, or even sending them a lovely message, all these things are also ways that you can use to motivate your team members. There are points that we need to note. And what are those points? What is your organizational culture? Organizational culture, you look at your shared belief and your shared value. In your shared belief, what do your organization believe in? Do you believe that the environment that your staff come in is an environment that creates a healthy relationship, that removes unnecessary competition? Or is it an environment where people are encouraged to bring out their ideas? Is it an environment where people are not encouraged to bring out their ideas? Do you shut them down, or are their ideas welcome? What is the shared value? What do you people believe in? Because, you know, most times when you look at football team, they have a shared value, what they believe in. And this is what unifies them whenever they enter that pitch and they're about to play their soccer. So in organization as well, shared beliefs are things that put people together. Communication is also another important element. Engagement, constant engagement, because you know sometimes there are certain things you will share as a key business idea and people do not understand them. And when they start turning in a task based on what they understand, there might be things that will go wrong. So engagement is very important because it helps to drive clarity. Then when you're also setting out key performance areas for your team members, it needs to be very clear. Clear to the point of discussing it with the team members, clear to the point of asking them for feedback, clear with the point of also ensuring that you check on them from time to time. Feedback, oh, super awesome, is a key element of communication. Because when you're the only one talking and people are not giving you any response or sending you feedback, it becomes a monologue, a one-part way to discussion. So feedback must be encouraged. And feedback is also to help you become better in what you're doing. Feedback is also important to help you to see, are there gaps that we need to manage? Are there things that we need to put in together to make sure that everybody is comfortable? Personal development. Even for you as a leader, like I said from day one, leaders learn their skill along the line. For you to ensure that you retain the right team, for you to ensure that your team also still finds it interesting and motivated coming to your place, you need to also develop yourself consistently, because leadership is a skill. It's like a muscle you develop. Once you stop developing yourself, you lose track with time. If you remember a couple of years ago, the workplace was entirely different than what it is now. COVID came and changed a whole lot of things. People are going through a lot of emotional stress and people are going through mental stress. So it's different. And imagine if you don't develop yourself, how do you think you will have the right skills to manage your people and even retain them? Because even sometimes your team members, they burn out. But because you're developing yourself, you now have enough capacity to help your people. Cultural intelligence is also another key thing we need to understand, because in the workplace now, people come from different environments. You need to also understand the fact that what appeals to you from your own culture is different from the other person's frame of reference. So you need to understand that. So when you're managing your team members, you need to understand the place of cultural intelligence, seeing things from people from different perspectives, because they are from different environments. Emotional intelligence is also one other key area of development as a leader, because with emotional development, you're able to manage yourself. There are certain things your team members will do, which ordinarily you might want to get angry, get mad about it. But developing your emotional intelligence skill will also help you manage difficult terrain in your businesses. Then diversity. Diversity is key now, because people can work remotely. Somebody can be out of this country and still be one of your volunteer staff, or it can even be a temporal staff for you. So you need to understand how to manage people from diverse background. Above all, you are responsible for those in your care. Because before you started out running your business, maybe you have actually worked somewhere before. At that point, you were learning the ropes and trying to make yourself a better person. So now you are an entrepreneur and you have people in your care. Your responsibility is beyond managing the ropes now because you've learned the ropes and that's why you have your business. Your key responsibility is ensuring that the people who work with you actually learn the ropes, you guide, you direct them. You don't give up because it's not easy running a business. So on this note, I would like us to understand the critical things. Your organizational culture matters, your shared belief and your value. Communication is key so that when you're passing information, you're sure that your KPIs are clear so that people don't make mistakes and then you get on the right side of your emotion and they feel bad about the outcome of everything. Encourage feedback and also consistently develop yourself. Just like athletes, also as a leader, you need to develop, read a lot so that you can find different perspectives on how to also ensure you retain your workforce. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ella. That was very insightful too. We really appreciate, and I think I really like the synergy between your presentation and CJ's presentation, the importance of culture, the importance of values, shared values, and sharing that with all. So I have a question. I'll start with you, Ella. So for the different types of employees you mentioned, type A, type B, type C, how do you determine how many of which you need and which ones, how to blend them in an organization? Is there a formula to it, or how do you determine that for a business?
Good question. Just like I said earlier on, one thing about leadership is a continuous work in progress, because for myself, I'm also a continuous work in progress. So sometimes when you are recruiting for a role, you already know the type of individual you're looking for. You don't go recruiting because you blindfold yourself, not at all. Your recruitment is purpose-driven. So let's say you're at that point where you want to scale your business and you have a particular timeline. Definitely you're looking for an A player who has that spark, who has that drive and wants to shine for the money. And you're ready to put the money on the table and just have everything done for you. So that is actually the key. Then when you're at that point where you want stability in your business, you want people who are going to become ambassadors for your business, you want the long stay. So your interview process will have you wearing that cap to say, I want B players who are ready to go the long haul with me, people who I want them to stay and grow with the business. So that's really the metrics towards when you're recruiting and you have the mindset of an A player or a B player.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Okay, CJ. So there's a question around, you talked around almost like having a brand. And when you talked about communications, can you hear me, CJ?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. So we have one of our participants that is asking, for instance, if somebody has maybe like the business name at gmail.com, is that still acceptable? Because they have to think about going to get domain names and all of that. Can they have their branding in that way? So it's not their name at gmail.com, but can they have like their business name at gmail.com? Or what advice do you give them for that?
If you do that, your business does not have a brand. To have a brand, get a domain. You don't need a website to have a domain name. All the web hosting companies, they have what they call email hosting. So you can go to them, buy email hosting, then it will be, say if your name is TechQuest, it can be cjagwu@techquest.com. Or if your business is, say your business is TechQuest, it can be contact me at techquest.com, something like that. So it's important for your business to have its own domain name email. Stop using Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail. Those are not good branding.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So there's another question. I would like both your perspectives on this. So it has come across from both presentations, the importance of organization culture. and building that, making the office a place where people want to be. How would you, for like a startup, someone that is just starting the business, how would you suggest they create that culture? Because sometimes organizational culture takes time to build. So what advice do you give them to start building a good organizational culture? So CJ, if you start with that, and then
okay, all right. To build a good organizational culture, you don't need an office space in Ikoyi or in Lekki. Even if your office space is just one shop, a normal shop inside the market. I'll give you an instance. When I left school, one of the first company I worked for, this man, he is a medical doctor. But each morning, before he gets to his hospital, the office resumes at 8. By 7:30, he's in the office. He always gets early to the office, hosts meeting with the staff, and then before going to the office. That is a culture he is building. A culture of accountability, a culture of punctuality, a culture of team building. That is what is building. So if you start up a business, don't say it is a one-man business. You leave your house by 9 o'clock and start going to office and the only one. You are not being accountable to yourself. Your office resumes 8. Get there in the office by 8 o'clock. Review the things you have said you are going to do for the day and start to do it. If you have a staff, hold regular meetings with that staff at the scheduled time. Don't go late. That is the culture you are building. Start building the team around that, and then you are setting up a good culture.
Thank you very much. Ella, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, that's actually great because culture defines everything you do. And like we mentioned earlier on, as a startup, there's always something that you can make out of your business. So just like he talked about, so one of the things I look at in terms of culture is calling off sick. What's the procedure for people to call off sick? Irrespective of the size of your business, setting that standard, like CJ was talking about standard, because those standards are what leads you to culture. And the funny thing is, it starts small, and before you know it, it becomes a behavior. So how do you look at the fact that calling off sick? How do you look at turning in reports? How do you look at executing action? Is it the type that you're sent an email, you don't read that email until a week or when the deadline is by, you just suddenly remembers? Because when you start that culture of laxity, it seeps into your foundation and it makes the house faulty. So there are simple steps in terms of building a culture: attitude towards email, attitude towards attendance, attitudes towards calling up sick, because we are all human. And you know, when people watch, they learn. Just like kids, when they see the things you do, they tend to pick up that behavior and it goes on with them. So that's basically it for me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So as a leader, as the head of the organization, it's important to lead by example. That's what we are both saying. One way of doing it is lead by example, show them the different standards also. So it's not just by telling people this is what we expect, you should also live by it and then also try and develop the culture. Thank you very much. CJ, there's a question from Samira. She's asking, can her personal brand use an email hosting site? So we've talked about organization brands, and what of personal brands?
Yes, you can. Take for instance myself. I have several companies I represent. We have our own domain name, say e-business incubation center, and I have my own email on that, CJ-Agwu at e-business incubation center. That makes me authentic. If you are dealing with some people abroad, they ask you to communicate with them. Communicating with them through your company's email shows that you're authentic, you represent a company, you are genuine. It improves your own branding. So it is good for your own personal branding. As the CEO of your company, use the email of that your company, and it's very good both for your business and for your own personal reputation.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Oni is asking if the recorded presentation if people will have access to it. Yes, the recording, this session is being recorded and it will be available on our YouTube channel. So you could access it there, you could download the session there. and it will be at TechQuest STEM Academy. So if you go to YouTube, go to TechQuest STEM Academy, you'll be able to download this session and all previous sessions that we have. Also, our mentors are also available. If you would like to book sessions with them, you go on peak time and then you can book sessions on their available time and have more discussions if you need to on your business. Okay, so we are getting to the end of this session, and just before we end it, I would like to give CJ and Ella an opportunity to, if there's one thing you would really want the entrepreneurs to take away from this session, what would that be? We'll start with you, CJ.
All right. Thank you so much. One of the things I want you as an entrepreneur to do is sit down, carefully craft your business mission, vision, and values. Those are the things that will drive, inspire, and fire you. If your mission does not fire you, drive, if you're not enthusiastic, it's not going to drive another person. And those employees, the top talent who are going to come to work for you, it is those mission and vision that will drive them. To give you an instance, one of the companies I work for used to be known as the Integrated Microfinance Bank. One of the vision we had was saying we are going to acquire FESP Bank. And people left Diamond Bank, left FESP Bank, left Zenith, left so many other banks to come and work with Microfinance Bank. Why? Because of the vision we have. This is what we want to do. It drove us crazy. So sit down, draft a mission and vision statement and values that drives you crazy. If it drives you crazy, chances are it will drive others crazy. And then you are going to hire the right talent who want to work with you, say, yes, I want to achieve that. So craft it if you want to grow your business.
Thank you very much, CJ. Thank you very much for that. Ella, what would you like the entrepreneurs to remember?
Yeah, so for me, and one key thing I leave with you is the fact that learning is very important. Because as an entrepreneur, you're going to make a lot of, you're going to make mistakes, you find yourself failing. But one thing you need to do is remember that nobody knows it all. So always take time to sharpen your sword. Sharpening your sword is all about improving personal development. Good thing is TechQuest have set up this academy for people to mentor you. Because most times when they do an analysis of the greatest needs by entrepreneurs in Africa, it's beyond financing. The next thing that comes up is mentoring. And why is mentoring important? Because you want to learn from somebody who's already done it before. Because when you learn from people, it makes the journey easier for you. One thing you need to remember, you learn from experience, but you can't teach experience at all because no two experiences are the same. So always make out time to sharpen your sword, develop yourself. Whenever you see a mentoring opportunity, take it as with your two hands, because even for myself, I'm still a work in progress. Whenever I see opportunity for mentoring, I grab it with both hands. So that's what I leave with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much again. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, CJ, for sharing with us today and your expertise and your experience from your experience. We really appreciate it. And I thank all the entrepreneurs that have joined us today. Once again, the recording will be made available. The link where you could book for any of our mentors that are here today and other mentors is on peak time at TQ TechQuest. So the link has been put. If you check on your bar around the offer section, you can book from there. So thank you once again. Thank you, everyone. If you have any issues or if you have any feedback you'd like to drop, please drop us a mail at community@tqstem.org. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Ella. Do have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.